Hey everyone, this is a video and it's about the whole Nazi zombie story. We'll start at the start, shall we? Noctur and Toten. So, basically, in Noctur and Toten, you know how it's like you're just four unknown Marines, and, it's basically just like, you know how, like, in the starting video, there's like you see like you're like on the ground and then the last thing you see is a zombie running into you. Well, that's the view of your pilot, and your pilot doesn't survive because if you go upstairs and look out the window, there's like this crashed plane, and that's how you got there. You crash in the plane, and then you and your marine buddies or whatever, you like you fight the zombies and stuff. And like there's maps after this, like after the first map. So there's definitely like I know that you can't really win in Nazi Zombies, but like somehow in like the story, if you survive the night, then maybe that's how you go on to the next map. So Verrucht. Okay, Verrucht. So it's basically like Nocturne Totem. Like, okay, let's go back to Nocturne Totem for a second. I forgot to mention something. So you know how like if you look on the ground, you can see like those blue rocks and stuff. That could be the element 115 that I'm gonna talk about later. Okay, so back to Verrucht. So yeah, basically in Verrucht, um, I think that's what they were doing with Nocturne Totem and Verrucht. They were like experimenting with the element 115 and stuff, and the experiment went bad, and like they had to move the experimenting to Verrucht. So that's basically just like where like I think Americans were like experimenting with it and it went wrong. So the third World at War map, Nazi, yeah, first World, okay, the third World at War map, Shinonuma. Okay, so in Shinonuma, it's like somewhere in Japan, and you play as new characters. You play as Tank Dempsey, American hero, Nikolai, communist comrade, um, Takeo, the Japanese dude, and Rick Token, the German scientist. So basically, there's this place outside where you see this big rock off the map, and when your character shoots at it, like say if Dempsey shot at the rock, you'd be like, I wonder if this is what brought them here and stuff. So that's what I believe brought them to brought the soldiers back to life. It brought them back as zombies. So okay, back to Verrucht. So there's this one wall that's really interesting in Verrucht. Um, there's this place where it's like there's like a Bible verse and it's like Jeremiah, I think, and then it's like death has crawled through our windows and among our people or whatever, and then there's like childlike drawings. So you can get okay. This is a really strange theory, but I think it works. So basically, when you get the teddy bear from the mystery box, um, yeah, when you get the teddy bear from the mystery box, you hear that little laugh, right? And sometimes, like, like, well, you might have heard of like Samantha being Dr. Maxis, and Dr. Maxis was like experimenting with Richtofen for like the Nazi zombies and stuff. So Maxis was experimenting with Richtofen, and I think Samantha might have died, and that's why you see like the teddy bear with blood on it, and like the laugh and stuff. It's like probably like Samantha, and she's like come back to haunt you and stuff. So you're moving on. So Shinonuma, Deriz, basically is near. It's set near Breslau, Germany. So um okay, it's set near Breslau, Germany. So it's like we're Germans. We're experimenting with 115, just like the Americans. So they were just like experimenting with it, and then it got wrong there, and that's how all the zombies came and stuff. And yeah, so in most of the maps that I've talked about, there are perk drinks, right? So they like increase performance and stuff. So element 115, it's known to be like increase like your strength and stuff. So that's what I believe what is in those perk drinks. Like in the perk drinks that like increase the body's performance. I think there's element 115 in those, like Juggernaut, that increases your body's performance, and Speed Cola, it increases your body's performance. But the other two drinks in World at War maps, Quick Revive, they don't increase like your body's performance, and neither does Double Tap does make you shoot faster. So that's where I believe perk drinks come from. So okay, the zombie dogs. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, now. Okay, the zombie dogs, it's basically just like how different countries were experimenting on their dead soldiers with element 115. They just experimented with like the dead war dogs or whatever, and then they became zombified too. So that's where I believe they came from. Okay, the first Black Ops map, Kino der Toten. Some say it was just like a German theater left over from the war that got bombed out, but there's something to it. There's something to the theater that gives it a strange feel. Like sometimes, like when you get those little film packages after you like teleport, it's like talking about where the Nazi zombies came from. And one of the films, it's really creepy because it's like this pupil of an eye, and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it's white, and then smaller and smaller and smaller. But I believe that what the Germans were doing, they were brainwashing them. Like they were brainwashing the zombies, and that's where they came from. So they were brainwashing the zombies with like the film. They must have been doing something on the stage with the teleporter. But when okay, so you can go, and once you buy the dressing room, Richthofen walks in it, and he'll be like, Dr. Maxis almost had his minions or something. If only he could have broken the trust barrier. So that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get the zombies on his side. He was trying to get them to work with him, but it backfired. And then they left. They abandoned it. And that's where Dempsey and Nikolai and the rest of the team come in to fight the zombies. Okay, so 5. Okay, so you play as like JFK and Castro and Secretary McNamara and Richard Nixon. So basically, you start out in the top of the Pentagon and the power's off and all that. So it's all that, and then you have to go and hit the power, and then you go downstairs to the lab. Now the lab is the part that freaks the crap out of me. The lab freaks the crap out of me. Like, it's not scary itself, but just the way it is messes with your mind. So if you go into one of the rooms, you look at like dead bodies, and they were like operating on them, right? So you look at them, and like one of them is Sergeant Roebuck. No joke, because Sergeant Roebuck is in World at War and he dies. So one of them Sergeant Roebuck, and they were I believe that they were zombifying Roebuck, so that's pretty crazy. Okay. When you hit the power a couple rounds later, the mad scientist will come, and that's the part that's freaky. So he just runs around and steals your gun. So he just runs around and steals your gun. But here's the thing though, in one of the rooms you'll see like this like goggles like with like a pool of blood around them. You know, some people say this is where the scientist like turned, is what I'll call it. Like he turned and then he just went insane. Probably from overexposure to element 115. That's probably it. So here's some tips so you can actually kill the 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 mad scientist. Pretty much you can kill him with anything that aren't bullets. You can kill him with the ray gun, Mustang and Sally. I'm not sure if you can kill him with an upgraded gun, but I think maybe. But you can kill him with anything that aren't bullets. So like ray gun, Winter's Howl, Mustang and Sally, all those things. Okay, oh, and also don't kill the pig in one of those rooms, because if you kill the pig, it makes the zombies really hard. Okay, so I'm running out of time. So the last zombie map that like besides Dead Ops Arcade, which doesn't really have a story to it, Ascension. Ascension. It's hard to explain, but it's basically like a Russian Doritos. The Russians were experimenting with like element 115, and as you notice, it's like the same as the multiplayer map Launch, so you're probably just playing in Launch, but it's zombies. Now when you're coming down on the lunar launcher, when you start the round, it's like it's all light and stuff and it's day, and then it suddenly turns to night and it's black and white, so that's pretty creepy. In the start, when like you hear that voice and it's like, help me, she's coming, the mechanism must be repaired. I think there's a dude in that map that you have to find, but the mechanism must be repaired. It's basically you have to like repair you have to like get the lunar launchers and launch the rocket and get to the Pack-a-Punch. Um, okay. This hasn't been confirmed, but this is my theory on what he means by she's coming. Basically, I think that Dr. Maxis and Dr. Tobin must have gone like insane with creating new inventions, and I think that Dr. Maxis went as far as to zombify his own daughter, Samantha, and then she's coming to like kill him. So that's what I think it means by she's coming. Okay, everyone. So this has been my video on the whole Nazi zombies theory. Like the story, but this is my theory, and there are lots of other theories out there, and make sure you watch not just mine, but a lot of them. Okay, everyone. Peace out.